Imagine living next door to someone whose smile felt more like a threat than a greeting. That was my reality when the new neighbors moved in. At first, it was the usual adjustments, the noise, the occasional late-night footsteps that felt like they were creeping into my space. But then things took a chilling turn. I began noticing odd patterns, strange symbols etched on their doorstep, eerie chants echoing late at night. And the worst part? The feeling that I was being watched, as if their eyes bore into my walls, penetrating my privacy. There was always an air of secrecy around them. Conversations halted when I approached. And their eyes, those dark, piercing eyes, seemed to hold secrets darker than the night itself. Then came the incidents. Mysterious scratches appeared on my door. Bizarre objects were left on my porch. And I started hearing whispers in the dead of night. Every encounter with them sent shivers down my spine. Their smiles never reaching their eyes, sending an unsettling chill down my back. I tried to shrug it off, convincing myself it was paranoia. But then, I found a cryptic note slipped under my door. Cryptic warnings that sounded like a macabre prophecy. It felt like a sinister game was being played, one I never volunteered for. Each passing day felt like a descent into a horror movie. The fear of what might happen next grew unbearable. Locks were double-checked, curtains drawn tight, yet the feeling of unease lingered. But just when I thought things couldn't get worse, I witnessed something that made my blood run cold. I glimpsed through their window, catching a glimpse of a ritual that seemed straight out of a nightmare. Their faces contorted in a rite that sent chills down my spine. And I knew then that I was in danger. That was the tipping point. I knew I had to leave. No explanation, no goodbyes. Just a desperate escape from the grip of terror that had enveloped my life. I never looked back, but the memory of those neighbors, their haunting presence, their eerie smiles, it lingers. A reminder that sometimes the scariest horrors reside right next door. I just moved into this quaint little neighborhood a few weeks ago. Cute houses, friendly faces, you get the picture. Everything seemed perfect, like something out of a Hallmark movie. Until I met Miss Blackwood, my next door neighbor. From the very start, there was something off about her. She never spoke, just stared from behind overgrown bushes, her face veiled by shadows. One day, I mustered the courage to say hello, but she simply tilted her head. A single crow perched on her shoulder and let out a chilling call. It was a friendly hello call, mind you, but one that sent shivers down my spine. As days turned into weeks, things got stranger. Whispers of wind carried chilling chants from her overgrown yard, especially at night. My dog, usually fearless, wouldn't go near the fence anymore, whimpering and cowering at the rustling leaves. One night, I swear, I saw figures flitting through the shadows behind her crooked chimney, like dark phantoms dancing in the moonlight. Curiosity gnawed at me, but fear kept me inside. I started researching the history of the house, and what I found sent chills down my spine. Whispers of a witch accused of dark rituals back in the 1800s, who vanished without a trace. The house, they said, was cursed, a conduit for malevolent forces. The occurrences escalated. Dead crows with cryptic symbols etched on their wings appeared on my doorstep. Anonymous notes warned me to stay away from Miss Blackwood, claiming she practiced ancient, forbidden magic. One night, a blood-red moon cast an eerie glow on the neighborhood, and I swear I saw Miss Blackwood chanting, her eyes glowing with an unnatural yellow light, the crow on her shoulder cawing in a frenzy. That was my breaking point. Armed with a flashlight and sheer terror, I crept towards her yard. Peeking through the fence, I saw her, chanting in an unknown tongue, surrounded by flickering candles and strange symbols drawn on the ground. And then, from the shadows, something emerged. A shadowy figure, tall and menacing, its eyes burning with the same unnatural yellow light. I screamed, scrambling back, the sound echoing in the night. In the chaos, I managed to escape, but that image, that figure, is forever burned into my mind. Now, I'm holed up inside. The police called, but Miss Blackwood and her secrets remain an unsettling presence next door. And I can't shake the feeling that this is just the beginning. Once I lived in an old neighborhood where everyone knew each other's business. But behind the veil of familiarity lurked a darkness that haunted my nights. Our street was flanked by an abandoned house, a decrepit, shadowy structure with boarded-up windows and overgrown weeds claiming its yard. People whispered tales of the family that once resided there. The Johnsons, they were called. A reclusive family that vanished into thin air one stormy night, leaving the house to succumb to neglect. Yet, it wasn't the vacant house that kept me up at night. It was the adjacent neighbor, Mr. Thompson. He lived alone in the house next to the Johnsons, an aging man with peculiar habits. His curtains remained drawn at all hours, and he seldom ventured outside, except under the cloak of night. Strange noises echoed from his home, hushed whispers that slithered through the thin walls of our houses, chilling my bones. And there were nights when faint, ghostly lights flickered behind his curtains, dancing like malevolent spirits. One evening, curiosity overcame my fear. I tiptoed close to Mr. Thompson's house, trying to glimpse what lay beyond those veiled windows. The air grew icy, and a sense of foreboding loomed heavy in the neighborhood. Suddenly, Mr. Thompson's front door creaked open, and I was caught in the glare of his piercing eyes. He stood there, unmoving, a twisted smile etched across his face, before the door slammed shut. From that night onward, my world changed. Shadows danced along the walls of my own home, and I could swear I heard Mr. Thompson's whispers just outside my window. Doors creaked open and shut by themselves, and a spectral chill lingered in the air, even on the warmest of nights. The whole neighborhood felt it. The oppressive, looming darkness that stretched from the abandoned Johnson's house to Mr. Thompson's doorstep. No one dared to confront him, but we all felt his sinister presence, a lurking fear that united us in silent terror. To this day, I wonder what secrets hide within those walls. What eerie connection binds Mr. Thompson to the abandoned house next door? But one thing's for certain: some shadows are far darker and more malevolent than they seem.